everyone, this is Blue Valkyrie and welcome back. Today's video is going to be the tarot challenge, but it's also going to include this time 3 different tarots, all Egyptian themed, and another book. I'm gonna try to go through this as fast as possible because otherwise we already know it's going to take way over than 30 minutes. This video presents the following model. Connor, baby, say hi. That's Connor. Okay, go back down. Lay back. You want me? Oh, you want me to do this one first? Yeah, he went back. He's such a sweetheart. Anyway, so let's try this one first. This one has a little bit of history. This one, not exactly this one, but my original tarot deck that was this type of deck was, first of all, in English. And second, somebody stole it from me. Quite literally stole it from me. So I searched high and low some years ago, I would say about 8 years ago, all over the internet to be able to find it, and I found it, and voila. And that's why we have the Tarots Egipcios, or Egyptian tarots, and it's all Egyptian motifed. It's all in Spanish. It's made in Argentina. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Anyway, yeah, you don't need that. Of course, comes with the booklet. It comes with the additional cards that only give you, like, you know, where is it from? What includes Kier editorial. Buenos Aires, República Argentina, and their email. And this is the same company that published the ones I had in English. This booklet is not multi-language. It's all just in Spanish. It gives you, I think, a little sort of instructions. Now, this is very important because it doesn't say that it comes directly from the Book of Thoth or the Egyptian Book of the Dead, like most Egyptian tarots will tell you. But it is Egyptian themed and Egyptian based in the sense that you're going to see. It has the magician. The magician, again, the same thing, has a magic wand and has something perpetuating the other, the magic, the other symbols in the cards. Although the minor arcana, you're not going to see them like that. The scepter, the jar, the pentacle, and the sword. And as you can see, it starts with a mage, El Mago, which is not the Fool, which is the 0. And just to give you a real quick tour, the Priestess, see how she looks, the Empress, the Emperor, El Terraca, Hierophant. Sorry, it's just those, sometimes those names are like, what? The Indecision. Now this is number 6. On a regular tarot deck, this would be the Lovers. But in this one, it's called the Indecision. This is the Triumph, but it's looks like the Chariot. Has all the symbology of the Chariot. This is Justice. This is the Hermit. Making sure it doesn't, I hardly use it, so. This is a Wheel of Fortune. but here it's called retribution. Persuasion, I think, is temperance, if I'm not, something like that. Yeah, because strength we already covered. The hanged man, it's called here apostolado, or the apostle, but it's some sort of martyr instead of just the regular hangman. La inmortalidad, immortality, that is number 13, which would be death. In another deck, that's why I'm saying it. This is temperance, so I forgot what the other one was. La temprancia, which is the temperance. La pasión, passion, which would be the devil. And it makes sense. The tower, it says here, frailty, fragilidad. Hope, this would be the moon. Twilight, crepúsculo. The inspiration, or la inspiración. This would be resurrection, which I'm not sure if it was the sun or something like that. I know that 21 was supposed to be the world. So here it's la transmutación, transmutation. And that's, so basically, instead of saying, okay, now this is comeback, el regreso. So instead of saying this is the first or the ace of whatever suit, you say here it's the laborer or labrador. See, he's plowing. La tejedora, the weaver, and she's actually weaving. The argonaut, el argonauta. El prodigio, the prodigy. Lo inesperado, the unexpected. La incertidumbre. Damn, I forgot what it was, but yeah, it's kind of like when you're not. Okay, uncertainty. That's it. See, you just have to give me a couple of minutes because I just got out of work, and you know how fried my brain is whenever I'm out of work, and so forth. As you can see, it doesn't present a the same suits that a regular tarot would present. And this is something very common on real Egyptian tarot themes, because you're gonna see another one that it's kind of like Egyptian themed, but it's really not that different from a regular tarot, except for the images. So basically that's what they are. They're very different from what we are used to. They are still 78 cards. And the good thing about the booklet is that it gives you some information on what is what, according to what. And there's actually a book for this particular tarot. I just don't have the book yet because it's a little expensive because it's in Spanish. And yeah, believe it or not, things in Spanish tend to be more expensive for some reason. So let's do this. But it came in the red bag, which I like. But I remember I had to get them from eBay at the moment where I got them. So let's put her back here. This is one of those security boxes. And you just there. And if you don't know how to open it, you're screwed. And of course, now that you see my videos, you're gonna know how to open it. This one. This is not a wooden box, but it's still very pretty. I don't know which type of material. I know it's from India. But anyway, on with it. It's velvety inside, and this is going to be very similar to the other one. It has but this one has the names in English, so it'll be better for you to understand. And this, the information contained here is going to be taken from what Stuart Kaplan actually wrote. And now the thing is that it says here, by contrast, the oldest existent written reference to the possible Egyptian origin of the tarot cards date from years 1781, 1787, when Antoine Coeur de Gebelin, writing in Monde Primitive or Primitive World, the advanced theory that the major arcana cards of the tarot pack constituted the Egyptian hieroglyphic book of thought, say from the ruins of burning Egyptian temples thousands of years ago. But the oldest existing tarot cards date from the mid-15th century and were prepared under the patronage of the Visconti family and the Sforza families of Milan, as evidenced by heraldic devices on many of the cards, and also something called research. So it's really not, I mean, these type of Egyptian tarots would be totally Egyptian influenced by the Book of Thought and whatnot, but tarot themselves are not. So you're going to see a few of the cards here that might look kind of damaged. It's not that they're damaged, it's just that I made this newbie mistake of using them without taking care of them for a spell. The recipient where the candle was broke, and it wasn't because of physics, because it has been used the same way in the past, or was used in the same way in the past, never broke. This one time I used these cards, I used a special, very potent spell, it broke, and it actually, some of the wax just came around, and I had to kind of like, see, this one's a little bit burnt here. I mean, it gives them character, but I hardly use them. Not because I don't get along with them, it's just because I usually use them only for magic, even though that now, if I'm going to use them for magic, I usually put them inside a very small Ziploc bag if I'm going to keep some candles or something around, because I don't want them ruined again. I mean, look at this, people. That's wax I had to scrape off from the card. Anyway, again, we start just, you're gonna see this one is very similar to the other one. It's just that this one is more sketchy and the other one was more colorful, but the images are more or less the same. The magus or magician, again, that's supposed to be an altar, and that's him with a wand. Okay. The gate of the sanctuary. This is card number 2, which usually, remember the pillars. It's the Empress, something like that, or the Priestess, one of those two. Anyway, this is Iris Urania, this is number 3. Number 4, the cubic stone. Number 5, Master of the Arcanes. The 2 Ways, this is number 6, which is the Lovers. But again, remember on the Spanish Argentinian deck said indecision. So this is 2 Ways. Basically, it's gonna mean the same, even though indecision is like you can't make up your mind. 2 Ways is just like you have 2 paths to choose from. And let me see, the Chariot of Osiris, or Cyrus, or however you want to say it. The Balance and the Sword. This would be Justice. And this is number 8. Huh, weird. The Veiled Lamp. The Sphinx is number 10. Looks like the wheel, right? But okay. The Tamed Lion. This is number 11, which again, I would say it's either Strength or Temperance, but Temperance usually is number 14. So let's go with Strength. The Sacrifice, again, it's the same thing that the other one said, El Sacrificio, which is the same thing as Sacrifice, and it is still the Hangman on card number 12. Here's a Death, or the Reaping Skeleton. The 2 Urns. This is Temperance. So the other one must have been Strength. The Typhon, number 15, which is usually the Devil. Thunderstruck Tower, which is the Tower. The Star of the Magi, which is just a star. A Twilight, again, which was El Crepúsculo in the other one. Here's a Dazzling Light. Here's the Rising of the Dead. And this would be the World, which is the Crown of the Magi. And it keeps going with the Crocodile, just like in the other one. The Scepter. This is the Ace of Scepters. And actually, this one would be a lot like the Fool. You have the symbolism of 2 here. You have, the foolish act of him being next to the crocodile. But don't quote me on that. That's just me. This is the Ace of Scepters. See, this one also has wax in it. And I tried to remove it as much as I could, but still. Anyway, let me go and see if I can show you. These are scepters. These are cups. And see, unlike the other one, which were continuous depictions of different things with different names, this is looking more like a regular tarot cards. See? Here are the swords and so forth. Let's see, the next one would be the Pentacles. And yeah, so that's this type of Egyptian tarot, that it's kind of like a combination, like a compromise, if you will, from the Egyptian tarot theme and the regular modern Rider-Waite Smith tarot cards. And let me hurry up and show you the third one. This one I have not wrapped in anything because, in all honesty, I just purchased it because, well, it looks cute. And remember, I've been hoarding, which is just an ugly word for collecting tarot cards. You're seeing, you're going to be seeing like 34, 36 tarot cards, decks, because in all honesty, I really hardly have the money to be buying them. I'm poor, don't judge. And the thing is that I usually don't, borders closed. Some other places are more expensive. I have to pay a month to month for Prime. And, well, like I said, I'm not really that, okay, so this one comes with a booklet, also in the this is by Los Carabeo, and this is the back end, and the front of the first card, and it only contains one additional card, only one card additional to this, is just telling you the title, and that it's made by Los Carabeo. And this one is very interesting because it's just telling you it's just the theme. It's not that it's traditionally, this is important. The deck becomes part of the tradition of the Egyptian style, but tarot, but confronts the task with a special kind of spirit. In most cases, in fact, the minor arcana of the old quote-unquote Egyptian tarot are derived from the Book of Thoth by Stella, and the major arcana come from Le 22nd Lem Hermetique by Patois. I am so screwing that name, Falconer. Although the main French and Anglo-Saxon occultists included famous leaders of the movement such as Papus, Mathers, and Crowley, did not create an explicitly Egyptian tarot. They moved down the same road paved by those two and dictated law in the esoterists for nearly an entire 20th century. And it's, telling you the tarots have proposed an absolutely bizarre ancient Egypt, which does not correspond to the historic reality. Let me read that again, because there's still people that think that the tarot came from Egypt. Some have proposed an absolutely bizarre ancient Egypt which does not correspond to the historic reality. Okay? So this is very, very, very important, guys. Anyway, like most Los Carabeo tarot decks, it has, I think this is the Ankh reading. I'm not really gonna look for it, but that, I think it's one of the many Ankhs. And you'll see this one is actually just composed like a regular tarot deck. It has here the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, and as you can see, she looks very Cleopatra-ish, but it's not really Cleopatra, it's just another empress. But anyway, she's a High Priestess. You see the two columns behind her, and she's taking care of the children. These two are sacred or royal blood children. But she does have a crown, so the Empress the Emperor. Oh, and by the way, yes, this is called the Ramses Tarot of Eternity. The Hierophant, the Lovers, the Chariot, Justice, the Hermit, the Wheel, the Strength. See, which one is she? Number what? Number 11. I wasn't that far off. This one's the Hanged Man. And you see in here, there's no real Hanged Man yet. They're just getting ready to hang someone. Or maybe they're just taking him down. But anyway. Death, as you can see here, is not a very dark-ish connotation. Because remember, they were one of the cultures that believed that death, it's just a bridge to the other world. Temperance, the devil. And what I dislike, honestly, about this is that they're worshipping this god, Set, and he's not really the devil. He wasn't fun. He wasn't all fun and games. He wasn't rosy, but he was no devil. Come on. He was okay, so he was a bastard, but every pantheon has one. The Tower. Very becoming because they were erecting and, the Stars. The Moon. The Sun. Judgment. And the World. And the rest. See, this is the other card that I wanted to avoid getting in here, but oh well. That is life. These are other of the cards, tarot decks that they have printed at the time that this one came out. This is the First of Wands, Two of Wands, and see, this is what I like. You see the 3 wands, but you also see other elements that are important to what the card means. Let me try to speed it up because I am running out of time. This is the Ace of Chalices. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you know, guys, but the 9 of Cups or Chalices, it's always the wish card. If this comes out, it's a wish. It's basically telling you you can do whatever you wish for. And this is a very prosperous card. Let's see now. These are swords. Bad card. This is, I think, Salome when she requested to have John Baptiste's head on a platter. Although here she's doing it herself, so I don't know if it is that. Because the Salome thing, it's a Jewish thing, and Jews were slaves in Egypt, so don't quote me on that. I'm not really sure. One of the most horrible cards in the whole in any deck is this one, the 10 of Swords. And let's see what else we can find here. Then there's Pentacles. Let me see. 10 of Pentacles. This is a very, very prosperous card. And with this, we conclude the third. And there's a reason why I just tried to cram them all into one video. Okay, now, very important, this next book, The Tarot for Yourself. This is the second, it's in its second edition. It's a workbook for personal transformation by Mary K. Greer. Now, this is it's a very good book. I recommend it. It's not just for fortune telling, but to get to know the cards better through a journey in which you and the cards hold each other's hands, if you know what I mean. I'm just gonna give quick examples about why the tarot for yourself. You do not have to interpret the cards. Do a reading as part of a journal entry and simply observe how the cards relate to what you have written. Tape record yourself readings and explain, or video record them. Explain everything out loud, just as though you were reading for someone else. Spend time with one reading. If there's a card that is particularly confusing or upsetting, get to know it through meditation and visualization. Which deck to choose? It tells you the same thing that most books tell you, but she also gives you a tip about the following small sample of decks available, and she tells you for example, the most common one, Rider White Smith. Remember, Smith is the last name of the lady who actually drew them, and from some time on, she's been added to the name, even though it makes it longer because it's only fair to add the artist. It's like the Crowley or Thoth tarot. Everybody calls it the Crowley tarot. Crowley and a lady, Harris or Frick Harris or something. But the thing is that, or Friggis, I forgot the name. But the thing is, include everyone in that had to do anything to do with the creation of the tarot. Don't be a dick. Okay? Tells you when it was published, the alchemical tarot, the ancestral part, the Aquarian. Yes, there is a baseball. There is a baseball tarot, believe it or not. The Connolly, the Enchanted, Gendron, the Halloween, the Hanson Roberts. I have the miniature version of this. It's very beautiful. It's gonna come towards the end of the 31 days. The Legend, which is the Arthurian Legend, I have that one. You saw the other two. Nefertari's, I think I had it once and I gave it away. So the new Palladini. I still have the Universal White, and it's just a recoloring of the original one. Like I said, that it looked like watercolors. There's the Witch's Tarot, and it's actually, there's three of them. Because there's the Witch's Tarot that it's neo-pagan Kabbalistic, which you will see. It was given as a gift to me. It comes with a book, but the book, I have to admit, I lost. There's the Tarot of the Witches, and then there's the Witchy Tarot. You're gonna see those three at another time. The Thoth, which is the Crowley one. See, Lady Frida Harris. I knew I was. Anyway. And the following decks have influences that combine both tarots. The Cosmic Triad, the Light and Shadow, the Mother Piece, you'll see it here too because I have it. The Nigel Jackson, I wish I had it though. Sacred Circle, you're also going to see it here. Celtic Wisdom, I wish I had it. And then there are the European classics like the Marseille, Italian classic, Insured, Mini Hate. You've seen already the Egyptian style ones, and so forth. Talks about how to use the book. It's actually very user friendly, even with the exercises it proposes. It gives you rituals. Tells you this is important. Remember how one book was saying to always keep them your cards covered with a cloth so they wouldn't take energies from someone else. Well, you know what? This tells you how to purify your cards from client to client, or from person to person, or even from one reading to another reading for yourself. This is very, very important. Okay? Very, very important. Cannot stress. And they actually make sense. It's not just frivolous, ancient because people were told so, tradition sort of thing. Okay? And it's telling you how to make a journal sort of workbook kind of thing. And it's only to help you get yourself better acquainted with the tarot. It tells you a visualization or a variation. Here she gives you this is the Tarot of Marseille, and she tells you what it is. She's talking more here about the tarot journal, and gives you an example of what to do or how to do it. Because these pages are a little bit, they're thin. So, daily reading chart, interpreting the cards, something very similar. Let's see. So that's the gist of it, and there's a lot of meditation. And throughout the book, she's going to show you readings. She's going to show you the art from other decks, granted in black and white, exercises, meditations, and all of those good things. Okay, dealing with the moods, emotions, and relationships. And it focuses on working with the tarot in a different way that you're probably used to. And here it tells you were introduced by the concept of selecting your cards to represent your experiences and looking through the deck to find the most appropriate images. This has worked wonders for me, like when you're dealing with depression. And even though this book is old, well, not like super mega old, it's let me see if I can. This is a 2002 book. Dealing with depression. Depression has been something that has been timeless. The only thing is that lately it's been given the attention it deserves. I still know people who think that depression is just something you get over it, and that's it, or that it's not really a disorder or an illness. And yeah, imagine that card in depression. I wonder, right? For those of you who know. So it's really something that gives a lot of good information, like I said before. Lots of readings for different purposes, for not only for yourself but for others. This exercise here is very important. I think anyone who is studying the tarot seriously should make at one point or another, even if you think you can't do it. Like designing your own spread, which I already did. Actually, I had to design 3. And yes, they were totally originally mine. Then there's designing your own deck. Oh, but I don't know how to draw. That's me. And if you're like the author, that may be your stumbling block. There are many other ways to produce your own personalized deck of cards. I mean, you can create, you can make a collage deck. You can make a photographic deck. You can combine collage photography and clip art. You can hand color a black and white deck. There's actually, I saw this on Amazon. There's actually a deck that comes blank, so you can draw in it whatever you want, and that's it. And it's actually very useful because you don't have to be laminating or printing or cutting, unless you really want to. The tarot art, the creative writing. There's a lot of people that do a lot of things here. Write your own epilogue at the beginning. You're asked to define tarot as you saw it at that time, and etc. Now, this is very important, and the only reason why I highlighted this is because it says here, I admit that I have selected my facts to tell a story that makes sense to me. If you just want the actual evidence, then I recommend books by the following authors found in the bibliography and the Tarot History Information Sheet. So what is the Tarot Information Sheet, I wondered. And when I came here, let me see if I can find it. Was it here? Yes, it was right here. Full listings for these works can be found in the bibliography. Sorry for stumbling on that word. The Tarot History Information Sheet was created by members of Yahoo groups discussion list in order to educate publishers, writers, and the public concerning the misinformation and currently known facts about tarot history. It can be found at, and I promise, please go to that, www.tarothermit.com or jwrevak.tripod.com. Okay, it's very important. I'm going to put it also in the description box, so you guys know where to go to. But I am sorry, this has been one of the longest videos I've ever made. I really am sorry. I apologize for that. It's just I was taking a book and 3 more decks, and the same thing's going to happen when I go to the Tarot of the Witches, the Witches Tarot, and the Witchy Tarot. So until next time, don't want to make it into a 45-minute video. Until next time, take care of yourselves, know thyself, and goodbye.